Great. Thank you for joining us at the Science Technology Center groundbreaking. My name is Jennifer Smith. I am the Chief Information Officer at Zions. This is a momentous day for us. We will bring 2,000 of our employees from across the Salt Lake Valley to this site. These employees support 7 affiliate banks across the western United States. As one of the largest technology employers in the state of Utah, we are proud to contribute to sustaining a fantastic economy. I'd like to recognize and thank our guests for being here today. This is an unusual hybrid event. There are hundreds watching us live. And today, to comply with COVID guidelines, but this presentation will be shared broadly. I'd like to specifically thank Governor Herbert, Mayor Hale, Reverend France Davis, Aaron Skonnard, Clint and Cydni Tetro Rogers for joining us today. We'll go ahead and get started, and I will turn the time over to our CEO and Chairman, Simmons.
Thank you very much. This is really an exciting day for all of us at Zions Bancorporation and our 7 affiliate banks, including Zions Bank here in Utah. We're standing today on the former Sharon Steel Corporation site, an EPA Superfund site that once was one of the most contaminated pieces of property in the nation. And 24 months from now will be the home to one of the nation's most environmentally friendly and compatible workplaces. And so that's really an exciting transformation, about as far as you can come from one end of the spectrum to the other in terms of creating the kind of economy and air quality and everything else that we all strive to have here. This new technology campus is going to serve hundreds of thousands of customers, individuals, businesses, municipal governments across the western United States, from Texas to the West Coast. And as Jennifer indicated, we're home to over 2,000 of the industry's best technologists and bankers. And they constitute about 1/5 of our workforce who will be here on this site. We look forward to being an exceptional neighbor here in Midvale. This is a beautiful spot, and we're going to build a beautiful building that will do justice to the location that we have here overlooking the Jordan River. And it's going to bring the kinds of job opportunities that will be of benefit not only to those who work here, but to the surrounding businesses that our employees will patronize and the surrounding communities in which many of them will live. My aspiration for this new campus is that it will be a place where creative thoughts will be thought and innovation will flourish. Unknown to most people in Utah, and unknown to most of those in Utah's growing financial technology community, Zions has an impressive track record of innovation. I brought a couple of props that I kind of like. This is kind of an interesting. This looks like a credit card, except it's got Bill Clinton's name scrawled across the bottom of it. This was actually a card that was used back in the year 2000 by President Clinton to sign the Electronic Signatures in Global and National Commerce Act. And it has embedded in it a chip that was produced by our subsidiary Digital Signature Trust Company back at the time, and initiated, first of all, it was the first piece of legislation ever signed with a card with a chip by a president of the United States. who signed it actually backstage with a wet signature because it was kind of a chicken and egg problem. You couldn't sign it electronically until the bill had actually been signed. But this ushered in an era of the use of digital signatures and public key encryption, public key infrastructure encryption. Zions Bank was the first bank in the nation to be licensed by federal regulators as a trusted third party to deploy this kind of infrastructure, which is now the basis for most all secure transactions in the United States. We also had an interesting role to play in the history of what in our industry is known as remote deposit capture. Back in 2002, I actually scanned a check I'd written to myself, and this is it. This is called under what became the Check 21 Act, or the Check Clearing for the 21st Century Act, passed by Congress in 2003, something known as an image replacement document. And it's a technology that now allows all of us to deposit checks from our phones or from a scanner by taking a picture of it. And that was a technology that started here at Zions Bancorporation. And my hope is that, I mean, those are two examples that actually both required federal legislation to really make them useful for the American public. But my hope is that we'll be able to continue to incubate great ideas, and that there will be a lot of creativity that takes place on this site in the years ahead. I'd also note in the past few months, our great team of technologists and bankers rapidly deployed software and automation solutions that provided Paycheck Protection Program loans to nearly 48,000 small businesses across the western United States, including thousands here in Utah, totaling over $7 billion, ranking us as the nation's 9th largest provider of these loans during this pandemic. So we hope that what we do here will be the envy of the industry and will continue to be a model of leadership for others around the industry. It's also our determination that this will be a workplace that attracts and welcomes a diverse and talented team of professionals. As a company, we're determined to do everything we can to give a boost to people of color, to women, to those in the LGBTQ community, to military veterans, to those with physical disabilities, and others who may have found themselves disadvantaged in accessing some of the job opportunities others of us have more readily been afforded. We want to be sure that these good people are full partners and leaders in building our business and in building a better Utah. For many years, one of the great and respected voices for equal opportunity in our community has been that of Reverend France A. Davis, who is the pastor emeritus of Calvary Baptist Church. Reverend Davis has spent much of his life working for true equality of opportunity. From the time when, as a young man, he marched with Reverend Martin Jr. from Selma to Montgomery and in the March on Washington, to the present day. Reverend Davis is an inspiring and beloved friend and a true mentor to the black youth in our state. Among the many ways he's blessed their lives is through the establishment of the Pastor France A. Davis Scholarship Fund, which makes it possible for many young black people to gain the kind of higher education that makes real opportunity in our economy possible. So today, it's in conjunction with this groundbreaking, and as I hope a symbol of our commitment to making sure that this is in fact a highly inclusive workplace. It's my privilege to present Reverend Davis with a check in the amount of, and I don't know if we have, got it back here. Come on up here. Reverend Davis. Whoops. check in the amount of $100,000 to provide scholarships to some of the great and talented black young people here in the state of Utah as they pursue higher education credentials, and particularly in science, technology, engineering, and math. And we are going to pair that with an accompanying commitment to work with many of these scholarship recipients to provide internships and, we hope, long-term fulfilling job and leadership opportunities in our company. So we look forward to being inspired by the work they do, and we thank you, Reverend Davis, for all you do. And we'll hear from Reverend Davis here in a few minutes as he offers an invocation on this proceeding. It's now my privilege to introduce Governor Gary Herbert. We're so grateful to have him with us today. Governor Herbert has been an extraordinary leader who has led Utah to become one of the nation's premier states for tech job growth and the incubation of new technology companies. And as he nears the end of his tenure as governor, I hope that this occasion will serve as one of the memorable events of this year that symbolizes Utah's continuing technology transformation that's taken place during his administration. So thank you for being with us, Governor, and I'll turn the time to you.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here, Harris. Thank you very much for the invitation. And as we think about 2020, it's certainly going to be an unforgettable year. We would like to forget a lot of it, but this will be one event that we're going to want to remember. So I appreciate all those who've made this possible. It's a hot day. And normally we think in terms of hot, it's a reference to our economy. We have the hottest economy in America. And by the way, we're still doing pretty good in spite of the pandemic. And we'll see some information coming out here in the next few days about how well we are doing. And again, it's a tribute to the entrepreneurs that are out there, the business people. It's a tribute to our financial institutions, particularly Zions Bank, which provides capital, which is the food stock that help us, in fact, grow economically and do the things that entrepreneurs do. So I appreciate what we represent here today. I look out into the audience and see everybody with masks on. I want to congratulate you for doing that and thank you for that. And normally, if we were at a bank setting and people walked in with masks on, it might be a little bit of cause for anxiety. But today, in today's environment, it shows the respect you have for your fellow man and the respect you have and the desire to do your part to help slow down the spread of the coronavirus, and it's working. We thank you for your work in that regard. Again, congratulations, Pastor Davis, well deserved. He's been a stalwart in helping us with quality of life issues in our faith-based side of our society. He's doing such a great job, and not only what he says, but what he does in helping us all reach, I think, new heights of goodness, and we thank the Reverend for his efforts there. Mayor Hale, another great day here in Midvale, and we appreciate your leadership and all those who've been involved in that. Let me just mention a couple of things that might be germane to today. I shudder to think what Utah would be like without Zions Bancorporation for all that they do. I see Scott Anderson here in the back of the room, where he likes to be. We don't know whether this is clone 1, 2, or 3, but he's always somewhere around the state doing things. And Harris has been very wise in deploying Scott. But to think of Utah without Zions Bank is like thinking of the Jazz without Stockton to Malone, Donnie without Marie, French fries without fry sauce here in Utah. I mean, they just go together. And they've demonstrated the principle that the spirit of collaboration and cooperation really is part of the secret sauce that makes Utah so successful. The efforts we have in creating the best economy in the nation, the most diversified economy in the nation, which is really something quite remarkable, is because of the spirit of cooperation and providing opportunities in a free market to be the best you can be when it comes to business. And Zions Bank is there really every step of the way in that collaborative effort, helping us to get these positive results. And we can't thank Zion Bank enough. This new technology center, I was kidding with Scott a little earlier, you know, they provide capital for other people to build things. They're providing capital now for themselves to build their own building, which is going to house 2,000 employees here, a technology center, which is going to allow them to continue to service the technology sectors throughout our state and really throughout the Intermountain West. Can provide jobs. Kim Gardner, he's here just saying, licking his chops. Going to provide 1,500 construction jobs, you know, to help them build this when it's going to be opened in 2022. Now, I need to say I'm invited here now as the governor for the groundbreaking. I hope you invite me back as the past governor for the ribbon cutting. So I'm looking forward to that as we add to the business climate and Zions continues to be a leader in the financial service area. Also, I think Harris mentioned this too, but it's worth repeating. This is a significant reclamation effort of taking a site that really was toxic and was a problem with the old Sharon Steel mill here and the tailings that was here to change it into something very positive. And not only are they doing that and replacing the mill tailings and the toxic environment that was here before, but protecting the habitat system, they're also going to build a platinum LEED certified building. That's going the extra mile when it comes to building things that are environmentally sensitive. And not only are the Zions Bank continue to do it, but they do it correctly. They do it the right way. And I appreciate the example they're setting. 75% of the building's electricity will be produced by solar. And it will also feature electric vehicle charging stations for those as we transition more and more to people driving electric charged vehicles. So again, a lot of good news here today. Example of Utah and what we're capable of doing. We've been a great example to the rest of the country and the world, literally, as we do on an international stage, business more now than ever before in our state's history, in spite of the pandemic. So we're going through some difficult and challenging and uncertain times, but we're winning that battle. And that comes again from the spirit of collaboration and cooperation, working together, letting the market, in fact, do what the market does best, and that's solve people's problems. So congratulations to Zions Bancorporation for all that they do to make Utah great. Congratulations to all those who help. They're a part of this partnership and this collaboration as we continue to make Utah just such a great place to live, a great place to raise families, and the best place in America and the world to do business. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Herbert. I'd like to introduce Mayor Robert Hale now. Mayor Hale was elected mayor of Midvale City in 2017 after serving the city council for several years. Interesting factoid, he also is a 40-year veteran of the U.S. Postal Service. Welcome, Mayor Hale.
Now, there's an agency that's again in the headlines where it doesn't want to be. That's happened many times in my career. This is a grand privilege for me. I want you to know our city has looked forward to this warm summer day. How did we do? We got a good warm summer day for a long time for the added resources that Zions Bancorporation is going to add here to Midvale. I'm grateful to welcome Governor Herbert, Jennifer and Harris Simmons, Jennifer Smith and Harris Simmons, Clint Betts, Aaron Skonnard, Cindy Tetro, Christian Gardner we work with all the time. Grateful to welcome Reverend French Davis here. My second cousin, Val Hale, Always good to run into you in great places like this. Kim Gardner, glad to have you here. And Hillary for taking my pictures today. The earliest settlers in Midvale broke many a tool, animal back, and workers' resolve to bring water from the Wasatch Canyons and the Ochre Canyons to the farms and homes here in the center of the Salt Lake Valley. They planted trees whose coolness and respite of shade they would never feel on a hot summer day like today. They organized and built schools of all grades and education opportunities, not just for one generation, but for many succeeding generations. They built and pushed up homes and businesses that would sustain and support families and neighbors for decades to come. And they surveyed for and built railroads of steel and roads of dirt, then gravel, then asphalt and concrete to transport themselves and their goods from production to market to the centers of commerce and to the consumer. Our city started with farmers, ranchers, gristmill operations in the late 1840s and 1850s. Then came employment opportunities in commerce, construction, schools and churches, sawmills, highway building and railroads. Ore processing and smelting followed in the early and mid 1950s, or mid 20th century. Today, there are nearly 35,000 residents who feel fortunate to call this centrally located city home. We love it. And there are 10,000s more who come here to work in business, schools, government, light manufacturing, and the service industries. There's another 100,000 who daily pass through here using our highways and freeway. Then there are millions who connect via internet and dark fiber with businesses in Midvale to conduct their business and complete transactions 24/7 every day of the year. We must thank our city leaders who have invested over $25 million diligently since the 1970s to provide an environment with water, sewer, fiber optics, to prepare for companies like Zion's in this exemplary land use that has reborn the east bank of the Jordan River. Homes, retail businesses, and commerce headquarters and franchises for dozens of small and large companies have chosen to establish here because of the locality, centrality, modalities, and commodiousness of this city. Midvale welcomes Zion Bancorporation and its connectivity to the world through our massive utopia fiber optic bandwidth. Zions will relish the ease of commuting on UTA TRAX lines, which will bring employees and business contacts to 3 convenient TRAX locations in Midvale and another just across the river in Gardner Village. By the time this complex is ready for occupancy, there will also be upgraded vehicle access from I-15 interchanges at 7200 South and 9000 South. Midvale is in the center of everything. Jordan Bluff's View 78 is to be the standard for corporate headquarters, operations centers, and employees. You'll hear many business leaders far and wide say, well, let's do business there, like them. Even better, let's live there. We welcome Zion Bancorporation, the pioneer financial institution of Utah, to this new frontier. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hale. And thank you for welcoming us with open arms to Midvale City. Next, I'd like to introduce Clint Betts. Clint is the CEO of Silicon Slopes, the heart, the hub of the startup and technology community for the state of Utah. Welcome, Clint.
It's great to be here today. I want to congratulate Zions Bank and Scott Anderson and Jennifer and Harris and everybody involved for making today possible. Governor, I want to thank you for encouraging everyone to wear a mask. You know, one of the benefits it's not talked about is it covers your face. When you got a mustache like me, it's pretty nice to have a mask that covers that thing up. So I appreciate you covering that up so everybody doesn't have to see it, Governor. I'll be brief because, as always, I'm just here to warm you up for Pluralsight CEO Aaron Skonnard. But Zions Bank is an important and critical part of Silicon Slopes. On behalf of Silicon Slopes, I just want to thank you for everything that you do for the technology community, the startup community, and the business community within this state. We would be nowhere near where we are today were it not for Zions Bank and the contributions that you have made to our community. I believe this expands Silicon Slopes. We always say Silicon Slopes is statewide. It's not just Lehigh, and it feels like this is the beginning of Silicon Slopes North. And so I appreciate Zions Bank for making this possible. And a lot of people don't know this, but Zions Bank is one of the largest technology employers in the state of Utah. It's been a major player within Silicon Slopes for a long time, and I believe this campus will accommodate more than 2,000 employees and respond to the changing work patterns in the years ahead. Thank you so much for having me. On behalf of Silicon Slopes, again, thank you for everything you do for the tech community. Thank you.
Thank you, Clint, and what an honor to be part of Silicon Slopes. Our next guest, Aaron Skonnard, you know as the co-founder of Silicon Slopes, the CEO of Pluralsight, an advocate for STEM education across our state. Importantly, also a member of Zions Bancorporation's board of directors. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's great to be here. I want to hit three key points that have struck me as I've thought about today and this moment for Zions Bank. One, this is a clear representation of the continued expansion and growth of Silicon Slopes. We see a lot of new companies coming up in the state. There's a lot of talk about the startup ecosystem, but it's equally exciting to me to see established pioneering companies like Zions Bank growing, expanding, and driving tech forward here in Utah. And that's what today looks like to me. This is a new tech campus for Zions. There are going to be thousands of team members here working on tech right here behind us. And to me, that vision is incredibly exciting. Today, the Zions team has been spread out across the state, and now they'll all be together in one of the largest groupings of tech teams in Utah. So we're seeing the continued expansion of the established and the new driving Silicon Slopes forward today. My second point is that Zions is a leader in best-in-class technology banking solutions. And those of you who are Zions Bank customers, you go to the branches, you interface with the website, with the mobile apps, and you experience what the technology is actually creating for you. What you may not know, though, is all the amazing things happening behind the scenes to bring those experiences to life. We often don't realize that. Often when you don't see the technology, that's when it's doing its best work. And what I've been able to see on the Zions board is the incredible pioneering efforts, like Harris pointed to in the beginning, talking about the security technologies they helped introduce into banking, and many other technology innovations that they're also currently driving. And looking forward to their future technology strategy, it's one of the most exciting projects I have seen, and it's going to completely change the face of the way technology is used in the banking industry. Zions punches above its weight in general. They frequently show up on the top 10, top 20 lists of banks across various characteristics of performance, right next to the national giants. And it's because of how they leverage technology. It's one of the key reasons why they're able to do so well. So it's really exciting to me to see this coming together, coupled with their technology strategy and vision for the future, and it is truly best in class. And I'm confident that this facility and that vision, the leadership of this team, will attract more and more high quality tech talent to Utah from across the country. My last point is that Zions is incredibly committed to STEM education, fostering computer science in all of our schools, and helping the underprivileged. And I think we saw an incredible demonstration of that today with the donation to Reverend Davis, and what that will do, along with the ongoing mentoring and coaching to further lift and grow the marginalized populations here within Utah. And we need to see more of that work happening across all of our companies here in Silicon Slopes. And I know Pluralsight's committed to that. I know Clint is committed to that. I know Silicon Slopes as a whole is committed to that. And Zions is pioneering many of those efforts. And I can tell you it's not just a public demonstration. It's something that is talked about behind the scenes in board meetings, in management discussions, and they're committed to it. And to me, that means the world. So huge day for Zions Bank, huge day for Utah, huge day for Silicon Slopes. Really excited about what this means. Thank you and congratulations to Harris, Jennifer, the rest of the team for all the incredible work. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you for your leadership across the state and the entire globe. Our next guest is Cydni Tetro, who is the founder of the Women's Tech Council, a model entrepreneur, CEO of Forge DX. This is a woman who is making a huge impact on inclusiveness and the performance of technology companies across the state. Thank you, Cydni, for being here.
Thanks, Jennifer. I was really honored to be able to participate in this moment and for what it stands for. As Jennifer mentioned, while I've been building my technology career, I've had the opportunity to create the Women Tech Council, which has been really focused on the economic impact of women in technology and how do we amplify that impact and create opportunity and networking and mentoring as you go all the way from high school to the boardroom. And as you think about that talent pipeline, one of the critical factors is the industry partnership and the technology companies and the support of them in order to build that sustainable pipeline of talent that is required to change the dynamics for specifically women in technology. We started the organization about 14 years ago, and Zions was one of our partners at the very beginning. And it demonstrates their leadership around how do we address and increase the number of women in technology. A couple of interesting things that I was thinking about it as I was coming here. In the very early days, we created an awards program called the Women Tech Awards to recognize women in technology, because we understood as you create visibility, you create role models, and you start to change the opportunities that others see. In the very early days, one of the Zions women executives, Shea Bertram, who I believe is still at Zions, was recognized. What that demonstrates to you is that they've had a long time commitment to women in technology. A couple of years ago, Jennifer was recognized as an award recipient. And this year, Zions happens to have 2 women who are finalists in the Women Tech Awards. And then as I've thought about that, what that tells you is that there is programming, there is commitment, and there is activation inside of the organization around how you evolve women, how you develop talent, and how you increase the number of women that are in technology. Today, Zions has more than 300 women that are a part of their technology organization. And we learn more and more about Zions as we work with them. A couple of years ago, we created a program called the Shatter List, which was to highlight companies who are activating best practices around increasing the number of women in technology and shattering that glass ceiling for women in technology. Because there's plenty of work that we still have to do. None of us have arrived, but it's about what we're in action on to change what's actually happening. In order to be on that list, which Zions has been on for all 3 years, you have to have executive leadership and engagement from all sides. You have to have internal programs around diversity and inclusion that are creating inclusive cultures, that are addressing the issues, and that are making sure that you have opportunity. You have to have women in all ranks of the organization, from entry level to executive level, that are demonstrating what those pathways look like. And then you have to be heavily involved in the community to be able to show what it means for you to have that diverse talent and that investment, because it is a transformation of our entire community that increases the talent pipeline. And Zions has consistently demonstrated their commitment to that by being in action on that. And the leadership that they provide shows up not just by having this amazing technology center, but it shows up in the activities that they do that make a difference for their employees and their commitment to the diversified talent pipeline. You know, as someone who lives every day thinking about how do we increase the number of women in tech, how do we inspire the next generation, how do we think about more women on boards and in executive positions, it requires companies that, like Zions, who has proven their leadership in changing what that opportunity looks like. And I'm forever grateful that they've stood with us from the very beginning to demonstrate that and to be involved in the activities and the programs that it takes to make a difference. The high school program we have, SheTech, has more than 17,000 girls that have gone through it. That program is now specifically responsible for Sterling Scholars and scholarship applications and young women entering STEM fields in different numbers than they used to. And that program only exists because of the technology companies that partner in order to provide that leadership. Right? When young women have an opportunity to meet someone like Jennifer, I'm telling you their lives change because they can see themselves in those positions. And that's one of the things that we all collectively get the opportunity to do. And as you have a technology center like this, which demonstrates the opportunities, it shows the pathways that are available. It allows you to grow talent. It allows, and it is providing, and we're seeing, and it continues to reinforce that Zion's leadership in changing the dynamics in technology and increasing the number of women in technology. And it will have a lasting impact, not just on our economy right now, but in the years to come. And it will change what will become available as opportunity for the generations that come behind us. And that is a monumental thing. And it continues to be something that is very important to Silicon Slopes, to our technology community, and to all of the future that we build collectively together. So I'm grateful to have an opportunity to be here and to be part of this moment in time that I think helps continue to define the amazing impact that we all have in technology and growth and economic development for the state of Utah. Thank you.
Thank you, Cydni. And for the big impact you have on our state and for women in technology. Our next guest is the CEO of Gardner Company, who is developing the entire state, but very specifically here in Midvale. We are honored to be part of this 200-acre development. Christian Gardner.
Thank you, Jennifer. I want to say thanks to Harris and Scott and Michael and Jennifer for giving us this opportunity. I think of where we are as a company at the Gardner Company, and we are here because of Zions Bank. It was during, well, predating the Great Recession, but especially during those times when times were hard, Zions Bank was there for us. And it is a great honor to be developing this building with you and partnering on it. We owe our success to Zions Bank, and maybe just let me be brief and thank a few other people on the team. Brandon Fugel, who's working on his phone right now, cutting some deals, to on the representing Zions Bank, and Mike Richmond and Dana Baird on our side, as well as WRNS, who's the architect, along with Method Studios, and the two best contractors in the country, Brett Oakland with Oakland Construction and David Layton with Layton Construction, who are partnering with us to help us turn this vision into reality. And I also look back at, just in my experience with Zions Bank, I think it was about 7 years ago that Michael, Dad, Scott, that we sat in downtown Boise. And I look at what we did together in building a 17-story Zions Bank headquarters building in the state of Idaho, and what that did as a catalyst for redevelopment and economic growth in downtown Boise. Not only did it forever change the Boise skyline, but it changed the downtown, its dynamics and how it works, and the synergy that's come off that building. And we are excited to do that again here in Midvale, because I believe those same benefits will happen. And for my dad and I, we have a special affinity for this site. We are proud to be partners with Midvale City in so many developments, and it's our quarter-mile away, our Gardner Mill, about, I can't remember, our fourth great-grandfather, third. And we feel a certain affinity to the site and stewardship, and we're very proud of the commitment that Zions Bank and Zions Bancorp is making to it. So I just wanted to say that from day one, Zions' commitment to this community has been resolute, and this commitment is very evident in the sustainable and healthy environment that they're promoting here in Midvale. And we've talked about the building will be LEED Platinum certified, which is a step above what most people do. We talk about 75% of the building will be on-site solar, which is a remarkable commitment. You know, a couple of the other things that we want to talk about is not just their carbon reduction, but their habitat restoration and healthy environments. And minimizing carbon dioxide emissions reflects Zions' commitment to improving the air we breathe, now and into the future. And carbon reduction also complements Zions' leadership role as a lender to renewable energy companies. And I don't know if people know that, but what a big role that they play in promoting solar and wind and other renewable companies throughout the country. This project is a pivotal chapter in a great reclamation story. It will address the community's desire to revitalize the regional habitat system sustained by the Jordan River and the Big Bend Basin. That's down over here to our south. Zions has engaged the expertise of leading biologists and local organizations to establish native and adaptive plants that promote a diversity of insects, birds, and other forms of wildlife. Employee health and well-being are also fundamental to Zions' culture and business, never more so than in these trying times. This building will provide a healthy indoor environment with state-of-the-art advanced heating and cooling systems that will provide fresh and clean air within the workplace. On the outside, new trails and a shareable bike program, soccer fields and pickleball courts will offer a variety of options for outdoor amenities. And furthermore, everything will be integrated, as we are also building a 15-acre park for the community, and all these things will be tied in to promote outdoor activities. I am personally grateful for Zions' commitment to sustainability and carbon reduction. And I look at how Zions is a leader in the community, and I do believe that by them taking the extra step, they will have other businesses continue to follow in their footsteps, and more will continue to put sustainability and corporate responsibility ahead. And I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity.
Christian and Ken, we couldn't ask for better partners in this work. Thank you so much, and thank you for Brett Oakland and Dave Layton, I don't see, for being here with us today. In a moment, I'm going to ask Reverend Davis to provide an invocation, but Harrison Scott, you might be surprised, this is maybe our largest groundbreaking ever. Now, you're looking around thinking with 50 people in attendance, how is that possible? We actually have 400 people who are watching live right now on Teams this event. So thank you to all those 400 plus people who are also listening.
Tell them to get back to work.
You all probably didn't hear that, but Harris said get back to work. We want to thank you all for being here today. After Reverend Davis provides the invocation, I'm going to ask Christian Gardner to kind of facilitate us to get over to actually breaking ground. The invocation is actually a very important part of this groundbreaking to us, because we recognize that we are stewards of this land, but also of the type of work we will be doing, the work that we'll continue to do to serve our communities, and we want to have a solid foundation as we move forward. Reverend Davis was the pastor of Calvary Baptist Church for over 40 years. You may know him as an acclaimed community activist, an advocate for equality, and a passionate preacher. We are so glad to have Reverend Davis here with us today to offer the invocation. Reverend Davis.
Thank you to Mr. Simmons, the members of the Board of Zion Corporation, to all of the staff, to all of you that are gathered here, to our Governor Herbert, to Mayor Hales, to my good friends Kim Gardner and Scott Anderson, who have helped us with the Pastor France Davis Scholarship over the years. We want to say a special thanks. And thanks, Ms. Simmons, and to the Zion's Corporation for what you have done today to help us to further STEM education. We're convinced that education is critical to making any kind of positive change. And in these days of two pandemics, one that's viral and the other that's racial, we believe that education will be the key to bringing about any kind of positive change that we're going to make. So thank you again for the check, and we look forward to partnering with all of you here in this community as we work toward the future, although I'm retired, but we still look forward to working together. Let us now bow our heads as we prepare for the groundbreaking. Oh God, our Father, we give you thanks and praise for another day. For a day that's exciting here in Midvale as Zion's Technology Center's groundbreaking takes place. We thank you, O God, for those who have spoken and have shared the dream. And now, O God, as we come to the realization of this day, of this groundbreaking and the subsequent building, we ask your blessings. We pray for Mr. Simmons and the members of Zion's board and staff. We pray for our political leaders, our governor and our mayor. And Lord, we ask for all of these that are here, either under the sound of my voice in person or virtually, that they will be blessed as the 2,000 plus workers will be to share this center. Now bless us as we share together, and may our time here in dedication and commitment be alive with innovation and excitement. And we'll give you thanks and praise always as we break this ground. Amen.
All right. Christian, please tell us what
To do
over here.
I've never told anybody what to do, but why don't we head on over, grab a shovel and a hard hat. Ryan, you're...
What spurred that?
Just
new business?
performance. Yeah, it just felt like we weren't.
I was gonna pull the trigger like Mark pretty good. How are you doing? Good.
Yeah, right here.
The lady. Click right here. No. Yeah, that one was you can't hear me. I spoke to Spencer Cox. We have a podcast. I said it was just